What's up, guys? This is Kyle over here at the Horror File, coming back again for another movie review. Today I'm actually doing a review from my friends over at Artsploitation. This movie is actually a 2014 horror comedy movie, and I'm actually reviewing this. They sent this over to me. I was really actually looking forward to this movie. I'd like seen the trailer. I'd read a little, some synopsises of this movie. This time, this movie is actually coming from Canada, which is a new area that they released a movie from. They haven't released a movie out of Canada yet. If you know a little bit about Artsploitation, they release movies, more independent movies, but they're from all over the world. They release some from Argentina. There's one, some from the United States. This one's from Canada. They got some from Peru. Just all over the world. There's a Japanese one called Horror Stories I recently reviewed. But this one's called Bloody Knuckles. This is a 2014 horror comedy movie about basically a resurrected hand. This movie's got a really interesting plot line. So to kind of get into it, the director of this movie is Matt O'Mahony, which kind of sounds Irish. Matt O'Mahony, and it stars Adam Boyes, Ken Chu, and Casey Mazak. Adam Boyes is the main character. Basically, to get in the plot of this movie, Adam, the main character, his name is actually Travis in the movie. He is a underground comic book artist. He writes comic books with kind of like an underground theme, meaning that they have a specific following. He's more into the obscene comic. He draws the comics, and he actually writes the comics. He does all the drawing for all the comic books. He also does all the writing. And most of the comic books that he does are very obscene. Like, they focus on subjects of either making fun of a certain point. Some of them can be a little somewhat racist. He has one of the comic book characters he has is like a gay. It's like a gay comic book guy who is like apparently he's told that in the gay community this is like people idolize this comic book character. Basically, he's like a gay comic book character that saves people. So he kind of focuses on some of the more obscene comic books. He draws some of the more obscene stuff. Well, in this movie, which I'm going to actually show you here in a minute, like one of the actual comic book strips that's actually inside this DVD or this Blu-ray. In this movie, he draws this comic book character called Mr. Fong, who is actually a crime boss in the city that he lives in, that Travis lives in. He draws him, and he draws like really obscene pictures of this guy. And I'm actually going to go ahead and show you because I thought this was awesome. This Blu-ray is really awesome if you guys pick it up. I don't know if you guys can see this, but so. He draws. Mr. Fong makes this juice that apparently if you drink it you can turn into like a zombie almost. And it says right here Tardgasm. That's pretty funny. That's the name of the little strip. But it shows him like basically like screwing some dude in the butt right here. And this was actually what in the movie that Mr. Fong's associate saw. This reporter, he gave his comic book to this reporter so she could kind of do a report on it, and she got robbed by Mr. Fong's guys. They had no idea that she knew Travis, and they picked up the comic book, saw it, and they showed Mr. Fong. Well, what ends up happening is Mr. Fong ends up capturing Travis and cutting off his hand, the hand that he uses to draw with and write with, which is pretty sure it's his right hand in the movie. Then as the movie kind of progresses, he gets really depressed and he starts drinking a lot and he just feels like he can't really go on. And they actually took his hand when they cut it off and they threw it in this like sewer pipe. They just like wrapped it up in a bag and threw it in this like sewer. And it cuts back at one point after it shows him being depressed and drinking to the hand in the sewer pipe starts to move. And the actual hand, which you see on the cover here, that's his hand. It actually comes back to life. It's regenerated, and it starts drawing the comic for him, and it starts kind of messing. It helps him out a little bit, but also more messes up his life. It does a lot of things that it probably shouldn't do to kind of get him in trouble. It's kind of a nuisance actually, and other than that, I don't want to get too far into the plot because I don't want to ruin it, obviously, but a lot of funny things start happening. A lot of funny characters come along. You see this gay guy who ends up like coming along toward the end of the movie who's in like this dominatrix suit, and like it's really funny because he tries to help Travis out. But I mean, this movie is full of laughs. I actually watched this with a couple of people, and we laughed so hard throughout this movie. It was just so funny. There's just so many funny lines in this movie. There's actually not a lot, but there's some really good gore scenes in this movie too, like where they cut off his hand, and then there's some gore scenes at the end where they're like shoving pipes through people's heads and stuff. Really good visuals in this movie. It's also directed very well. Like surprisingly, it looks. I mean, it's definitely an independent movie, but it definitely looks very well directed. Um, I had a blast with this movie. I really did. I'm not a huge horror comedy fan by any means. Like, there's certain things I like, certain things I don't like. Not a huge horror comedy fan, but I really, really enjoyed Bloody Knuckles. I thought this movie was a riot. I would give this movie solid 8 out of 10. It had a really engaging story. It was hilarious. It was very well directed. The actors were very well. Everybody acted very well. There's some little couple of plot holes in the movie as far as like certain things that happen you don't really understand, and it's certain points in the movie are slow burners where it takes a little bit of time to actually get to the point, but. Overall, it wasn't like a horrible slow burner at all. It actually had a really good pace to it for the most part, and the plot holes actually kind of get explained for the most part, and you understand what's going on. It's really not a hard premise to follow. There was one actress in this movie. I'm not going to name who it is. It's one of the main actresses. She had a little bit of shaky acting, but I mean that's very well overlooked considering that the movie is very very well made. And I really just the funniness of the movie itself like just makes up for all the bad parts of the movie, which are hardly any. But Bloody Knuckles, I would recommend checking this out. 8 out of 10, I give it. I don't know if you guys can see the back. It's won a bunch of awards, and like I said, it's from Canada. There's the sleeve number, which is Art24. Artsploitation also numbers all their releases, which is really cool. Bonus features on this Blu-ray that you guys can expect. This is an unrated movie, came out in 2014. If you include the bonus features with it, it's normally 86 minutes, which actually it's really not that long. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, like 15-20 minutes. Which was surprising, like it wasn't long at all. But I had a blast the whole time watching it. 130 minutes with bonus features, which it's got deleted scenes, director commentary. There's actually 2 short movies on the Blu-ray too, called Electric Fence and Unjust Tracking. But yeah, it's released by Artsploitation. You can go to artsploitation.com and pick up the film. But yeah, definitely check it out. Bloody Knuckles. Subscribe my page. Let me know what you guys think of Bloody Knuckles. Let me know what you guys think of all my other reviews. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know what you think. Definitely what you think of this movie, because I'd like to hear a lot of what people would think about this movie. Because like I said, it's a horror comedy. It's not something I'm normally used to watching, but I actually really did enjoy this and thought it was a blast. So until next time, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, and peace. Talk to you later.